I don't ever slow up, no I don't take I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
Hello everybody. Today's about fighting people in prison, fighting the COs. The first one, he took on a whole bunch of them. They had their hands full. All of them did. I mean, usually, you know, when it takes a bunch of them, they take him down in pretty short order, you know, cuff him. But we was in the chow hall, and there's always a CO right outside the chow hall from when you leave, and he randomly pat searches people. And I don't know if that's what this was about or what, but as I'm coming out, I heard arguing, but as I was coming out, this guy, he attacks the CO. And there's other COs, like right across, there's a tire and control center like thing. And when you leave the chow hall, you have to pass it to go down this walk to your housing unit. If your housing unit is down that way, sometimes you have to go this way or that way. But the other COs, and there's a white shirt came out of the control center, and they telling us, get back inside. And they all jumped this guy. Once they got us back inside, I just wanted to go to my housing unit, man. Just let me go on by. But no, they told us to get back in there. But there was this window, and you could see, and all these COs was trying to get a hold of this guy, and he's punching them and fighting them. They finally get a hold of him. He's still fighting them, and they fought him all the way until they got him down. Finally got him down on his belly and cuffed him. There was cussing. I don't know if some of them, I don't know if it's all from the convict or if some of them was from the COs. But either way, they get him up and lead him away. And I seen a couple COs bleeding. One of them had lost his hat, and one of them was, I didn't see nothing, but he was rubbing his mouth like he'd been hit in the mouth or chin or something. But usually when you see these guys have a real problem. They're either mentally off, which is not always the case, but they're usually mentally off, or the CO has done something so bad that he felt he had to do that. And I've seen that a few times. On my second story, this guy, the CO, he didn't bother nobody. He didn't disrespect nobody, you know. He would do his job. If you had a write-up coming, he was giving it to you. But there's this one guy, he just started harassing, and I mean literally harassing. I wouldn't say that if it wasn't true, because like I said, this guy normally, he leaves everybody alone. But he just started harassing this guy, shaking his cell down all the time, taking his property that was on his property list that he was allowed to have it, and it was his, and he'd have to go all through property and go through all this and that to finally get it back. And I guess one day he just had enough. They used to sell us, they don't no more, but they used to sell us these little, I think it's rival crock pots, little small crock pots. And he put one of those in a laundry bag. I guess he had one, or he got it from somebody, because by then they's grandfathered in. They wasn't selling them no more, but if you had them, you could keep them. And they have a 10-minute, what they call a 10-minute window. That means at the top of the hour, you got 10 minutes if you're outside to come in. You got 10 minutes to get out. You got 10 minutes to get to wherever you're going or need to be. And you can come in, make a cup of coffee real fast. It's easy to do. It's just instant coffee. Add hot water to. Anyway, I'm getting off subject. And you go back out when they call movement is closed. they lock the gates. That each housing unit is surrounded by a gate, and they got, fence, and they got gates, and they lock it. He waited until right when they was locking it, right when they said it was over, and he comes out, and that CO was standing with his back to the housing unit. He was just outside the housing unit, but he had his back to it, had his arms crossed, and was just looking around. I'm standing over talking to somebody. He comes out and he swings this laundry bag with everything he has and hits the CO in the back of the head, knocks him down. I wasn't expecting the CO to get back up, but he did. But even if I was expecting him to get back up, I would expect him to pull his mace out, pepper spray, whatever it is, or his radio. But he didn't. He jumps up and puts his hands up and they start fighting. And they're going toe to toe. I am not lying. And this was an older guy. The CO was. He was an older guy. And they just went toe to toe for a minute. And the CO's coming out of the bubble in the housing unit. CO's trying to get through the gate. They can't because the CO hasn't unlocked it yet. Finally, they break them apart. There was actually one CO grabbed him. A bunch of COs grabbed the other guy, and they didn't grab his hands and put his hands behind his back. One of them grabbed him and flipped him down over the ground. Hard concrete, just bam, and he's yelling at him the whole time. Cuff up, cuff up, cuff up. I've never understood that anyway. When COs in prison tell you to cuff up, they should be just telling you to put your hands behind your back so they can cuff you up. You don't cuff yourself up, but that's what they call it. They say cuff up, and what they're meaning is put your hands behind your back so that they can take their cuffs and put on you. It doesn't make no sense. Just say put your hands behind your back. But he was yelling at the guy the whole time. The whole time they grabbed him, and he threw him down on the ground. Cuff up, cuff up. And so they grabbed him and cuffed him up, lifted him up. They tell the other CO, the one that he was fighting, they kind of lead him off away, and he gets the rest of the day off. And I don't think it was by choice. I think they made him go home. But he was back the next day. Had a patch on the back of his head. And just acting like nothing happened. I kid you not. He even walked by my cell. How you doing, Sadio? I just stared at him like, what the? You realize you had a crock pot upside your head yesterday. And you got up, and now you just, hunky-dory. I guess he got what he wanted. That's what some people were saying. He made the guy snap. Now the guy's going to go to the hole for a long time, probably getting another charge. All this and that. And he was back to normal. But he never did bother anybody except for that guy. And I did not know what the problem was with it. Never did find out. But it's just strange. You have these jerks, COs are jerks in prison. There's at least one in every prison. And they just make your life miserable. They even sometimes make the other CO's life miserable. But this guy was not one of them. So either the dude that he was harassing either had to do something to cause him to start harassing him, or he just didn't like the guy for some reason or another. I don't know. Anyway, I thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.